What's up, OGF subscribers? Actually got some brand new news for you. Old Dog Farm, it's not even like actually a farm or a business yet, is now going to be rebranded as Old Town Urban Farms. It's a new concept that I've been dreaming about for a long time, but I actually think I'm going to be able to bring to fruition. And what Old Town Urban Farms is, as opposed to Old Dog Farms, is had a little bit of a change in life circumstance, and I don't know if my wife and I are going to be relocating down to the Durango area anymore, or even necessarily looking for a farm property yet. So we think, so long as we're going to be in downtown Fort Collins still, a really neat idea might be to play on this concept that I've gained a lot of traction with people in my neighborhood about doing urban farming. So using my front yard as sort of a demonstration launch garden as a specimen piece to then work with local landlords and homeowners who have vacant properties that face south or west, to essentially dig up their front yards that are either just fields of weeds or grass that nothing is being done with, and using that to turn into farms. So it's bringing people directly to the vegetables that are being grown, because the great thing about farmers markets is it's great exposure for farmers, but the thing that farmers markets and the farmers market experience is missing is that it does not have, people don't see it, they don't see the farm, they don't see the food being grown. And what I really want to try to bring to people is that experience of things coming out of the ground. You can touch it, you can feel it, you can see it, you can ask questions about it. It's all right there in front of you. And so and so I think that Old Dog Farm, which is going to be a farm property, a farming concept based out of a farm property, is now going to be Old Town Urban Farms, Old Town being the section of Fort Collins that we live in. So anyway, that's a little bit of an update for today. I did something really stupid. I planted squash. Why did I plant squash? It's gonna get down to 36 tonight. Squash typically are plants that do not enjoy being cold. They can take about as much heat as you can throw at them. But I was out here with my volunteers, Vicky and Ann, today. The squash looked really, really healthy. I've really been wanting to get a jump on the season. And I said, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and plant these things and see what happens. Because the other great thing about squash is they germinate fairly easily when it gets warmer. So even if I plant these things and they die, which I don't want to have happen, but even if I plant these things and they die, I can grow them back fairly easily. Now you'll notice, looking here at this squash plant, and that squash plant, and all the other squash plants down the row, is I don't have my irrigation system at this property set up yet. So what I've done, and what I've done at home in my home gardens to great success, is I plant things, make sure that the root ball is really secured and patted down just around the root ball space, and then I dig out a circular trench. As you can sort of see that I've done here, is I dig out these trenches. That allows me to take a garden hose and really soak the area right in and around that root ball, that brand new root ball that got put in there. Instead of the water just, if this was flat, this water just sloughing off this way and sloughing down the hills. By building this irrigation well, it sits and then it just goes and it sinks right down to the ground, which allows me to, before I have this drip system set up, to really get some water on these plants and make sure that they get off to a good start. So they actually look really, really happy, which is a great thing to see, considering that it's actually kind of a warm day. It's like in the low 70s in Fort Collins, and they just got out of their cell trays and we put them into their ground. And so we had set up these hoops because I was thinking I was going to put a frost cloth on them tonight, because again, it's going to get cold, and if I just leave them outside, I don't think they're going to do very well. So what I'm going to try to do, and what I've done here with these seedlings, is, because I did actually sow some regular seeds too. So what I did is I just put the seeds in the ground, covered them with a bucket, That bucket is not only going to warm up the soil beneath it, because squash needs to germinate when the soil temperature is about 70 degrees. This bucket will definitely take care of that. It'll create a sink inside of that and hold that heat, and then hopefully create some fast germination for the squash that are just seeded. But I'm also going to try that with just the rest of these squash plants, in the hopes that I can sort of get them through like a night. It's been a pretty warm spring here in Fort Collins. The overnight lows right now typically are like in the low 40s, which is like okay probably for like plants that are more established, but for baby seedlings and stuff like that, like I just planted, it's still a little cold. So I think I'm gonna try to protect them, at least for tonight. And I think some days next week are going to be like this as well. But I was anxious to get them in the ground. Again, it may be a stupid idea. It may not be a stupid idea. Not exactly sure, but this is year one. It's year zero, really. I'm just experimenting, and I'm going to make mistakes. And at least in this instance, if I do make a mistake, it'll be a mistake of my own choosing. So anyway, you know, here we go. What's that lyric? Here we go again on my own, or something like that. I don't know. That's what we're doing. I'll show you really quickly inside the tunnel. I know this is not a great view because I'm trying to protect all the stuff that's in here from chickens that wander through the area and have gotten in and have dug up some of my carrots. But those are, on the far left, those are all radish. Tons and tons and tons of radish. And in the middle rows, those are beets and carrots. But over there, those are all radish as far as the eye can see. And then in the middle here, if you can see, again, sorry for the bad angle, but we've got sugar snap peas and mixed lettuce in this front bed, and then way down at that opposite end, we got tons of spinach that's coming up. I was having a little bit of a freak out the other day because I was like, I don't have anywhere to sell this. I don't, you know, it's too cold. I can't get anything planted. I don't know how I'm going to refrigerate this. I haven't sent out an email to family or friends to let them know that I'm even doing this, and where the hell am I going to sell all of this? And then I was like, nothing is under control. And that reminded me that literally the tagline to this ayahuasca retreat I went to last year, called Rhythmia, literally its tagline for the venue is relax, nothing is under control. So it's a valuable lesson in life, and ever since I learned it, I've been taking things one step at a time, sending off one email, not thinking about 10,000 problems, but thinking of one problem, sending off one email, answering one question, answering the next question, and doing things in a much more logical fashion than I have been doing, which is just freaking out about everything that I don't have under control. Well, if I just freak out about everything I don't have under control, then nothing will come under control. So just start is like my mantra. That's kind of how I started here at this property, and having all these crazy farming ideas, thinking I can sort of do this with no experience. And I don't know if I can do it. I mean, I do know I can do it, but I do have no experience. But things are coming out of the ground. Everything's working. And guess what? Our friend is back. It's Coco. It's a beautiful Friday, friends. This is Michael, the old dog for Old Town Overn Farms. Out. We'll be back next week. Planting is going to be either next week or the week after that. Super exciting, friends. Stick around. Have a great weekend. Peace out.